welcome to Live Interactive English. I am Nina.
Hello, everybody. I am Shane.
Yes,
and today we're taking a look at an article called Malala, the girl who would not be silenced.
Yes, so
Part 1.
When someone is not to be silenced, usually it's because they have something to say, something to fight for, right?
Yeah, when you say, I won't be silenced.
Yeah, usually you're fighting for maybe your rights.
Yeah, maybe like somebody is trying to keep you quiet. This could be like the government or the authorities or maybe even your teachers.
Who knows? But in this case, Malala, the girl who would not be silenced, it seems like she's fighting for her rights as a girl, right?
Right.
And this would make sense because just speaking of the past, you know, women have not always had the same rights as men, historically speaking.
Yeah, gender inequality is still a problem today.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if we go back 50 years ago or something, it was way, way worse, especially for like education and, you know, not even to speak of jobs. Like, you know, you couldn't be a female doctor 50 years ago. It was almost unheard of.
Yeah, that is really crazy. And also, especially now, it's still an issue where women don't get the same pay as men, even though they're in the exact same position.
Correct.
So let's learn a little bit more about Malala, the girl who would not be silenced.
Okay.
Every year on July 12th, the world celebrates Malala Day in honor of Malala Yousafzai, a campaigner for female education who was attacked for wanting to go to school. Read on to find out more about this courageous young woman and her fight for the right to learn. Born in 1997 in Mingora, Pakistan, Malala was an intelligent child who grew up in a loving family with 2 brothers. Her father, a passionate educator who ran a chain of schools, encouraged her love of learning.
Okay, welcome back to part 1 of Malala, the girl who would not be silenced.
That's right, she will not be silenced. Okay, let's start the article. Every year on July 12th, the world celebrates Malala Day in honor of Malala Yousafzai, a campaigner for female education who was attacked for wanting to go to school.
Oh my God.
She was attacked for wanting to go to school.
That is crazy.
This day and age, somebody not being able to go to school, and obviously this is because she was a female. Okay.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, so they're doing this, so they hold this day in honor of her. So honor means great respect for somebody, right? So, for example, you could say this theater is named in honor of the town's first mayor.
Okay, so they have this Malala Day in honor of her, right?
And you could say to honor somebody as a verb, right?
Yeah.
Or in honor is a noun.
So continuing, read on to find out more about this courageous young woman and her fight for the right to learn. Wow, you actually had to fight for your right to learn as a woman back in that time. So she was very courageous. Courageous is an adjective, and it means when someone is brave and not afraid to do something difficult.
Sounds like me.
What are you?
I'm pretty courageous.
Okay. Can you give me an example?
Sometimes when there's a spider in the house and my wife is scared of it, I will go and catch the spider and put him outside.
Okay, that is very courageous.
Pretty
Good job.
courageous, isn't it?
Yes. How big was the spider?
Pretty big, like one of those, like, you know, what do they call, like lanya?
I don't know.
So there's this big.
Okay.
It's a big spider.
I know the kind. Okay.
You know it.
So another example, the courageous man ran into the burning building to save his friends. Now that is courageous.
I've never done that, but I've never been in the situation. Perhaps I would do that because I'm so courageous. All right, let's learn more about Malala. Born in 1997 in Mingora, Pakistan, Malala was an intelligent child who grew up in a loving family with 2 brothers.
Wow, actually, so she actually was born after me. She's actually younger than me, yet she didn't get education as a child, or at least she had to fight for it.
Yeah.
So this wasn't that long time ago.
Yeah, it's not that long ago. Her father, a passionate educator who ran a chain of schools, encouraged her love of learning.
Okay, so he was passionate.
He's passionate. If you're passionate, to have passion just means that you have a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of fire. You know, like you really care about something.
Yeah, and he is a passionate educator.
Yeah.
An educator is someone who educates, who teaches, like a teacher, right?
Right. So if you're a passionate educator, you're very passionate about teaching people. You're very enthusiastic about it.
Exactly. Okay, so he encouraged her love of learning. So luckily, she had a very supportive father and encouraged her, told her it's great that you want to learn, and probably taught her a lot too. But she still wasn't able to go to school, right?
Yeah, so what was the problem? I mean, she's got, you know, a father who's encouraging her to learn. She seems to be very smart. She wants to learn. So what's the problem?
Okay, I guess we'll find out after the break.
Okay.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这2天的课程是要介绍一位不肯沉默、非常勇敢的女孩马拉拉·尤沙夫赛。每年7月12日，全世界都会庆祝马拉拉日，来向她表达敬意。她是一位支持女性教育的运动家。那因为想要上学而受到了攻击，我们就来看看这一位勇敢年轻的女性为学习权奋斗的经过。马拉拉是在1997年出生于巴基斯坦的明哥拉，她是一个聪明的孩子，在一个充满爱的家庭当中长大。那她有2个兄弟，而父亲是一位充满热情的教育工作者。父亲经营着一系列学校，那也有鼓励他来热爱学习。Nina 老师提到马拉拉有一位非常支持他的父亲，那我们可以用到 supportive 这个字 ，support 后面加上 IVE，supportive 就是形容支持的、鼓励的或者是拥护的。再来看课文单字 honor 当名词，它表示敬意或是荣誉。In honor of somebody or something 就表示向什么来表达敬意，纪念什么什么，为了庆祝什么什么。下一个单字 courageous 它是形容勇敢的或是无畏的。接话课文中。
However, when Malala was 11, everything changed. The Taliban, a strict religious group that had taken control of Mingora, banned girls from going to school. For young Malala, this was deeply unfair, and it sparked a desire to fight for her right to education. Despite the ban, Malala refused to stop learning. She started to write for the BBC, detailing her life as a schoolgirl under Taliban rule. Growing more outspoken, Malala demanded equal educational opportunities for all girls. This angered and scared the Taliban, and on October 9, 2012, a Taliban terrorist shot Malala in the head. Luckily, she survived this brutal attack, but she had to spend months recovering in the hospital.
Okay, so before the break, we learned about Malala. And she's actually a very intelligent young girl. She has 2 brothers and a father who's a very passionate educator and really encouraged her to learn.
Yeah.
But something is probably going to happen because we know that she's going to have to fight.
Exactly.
Right? for her to be able to be educated.
Exactly.
So let's find out what happens.
All right. So continuing with the article, however, when Malala was 11, everything changed. The Taliban, a strict religious group that had taken control of Mingora, banned girls from going to school. They banned girls, so they actually forbade. That means you cannot go to school anymore.
If you ban somebody from doing something, that means that they cannot do that thing, right?
Yeah.
So if I ban you from coming to the office, that means you're not allowed to come to the office. So, wow, they banned all girls from going to school.
Yeah, and usually when someone is banned, there would be consequences.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a vocabulary word, religious, which is an adjective. It just means that it's something connected with religion or with a particular religion. So here we're talking about the Taliban.
Yeah.
And they're a religious group.
And they're quite extreme, right?
Very extreme, right.
Yeah.
So for example, you can say Linda doesn't eat meat because of her religious beliefs.
I'm guessing she is a Buddhist, right?
She could be a Buddhist or she could be a Seventh-day Adventist.
Interesting.
That's another Christian group of people who don't eat meat.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So continuing the story, for young Malala, this was deeply unfair, and it sparked a desire to fight for her right to education.
I would definitely feel that that is deeply unfair.
Yeah.
It would be very, very aggravating, I think, for any girl if they wanted an education.
It's pretty unbelievable, right?
Yeah. So it sparked something in her. So spark means to make something start or happen. So for example, watching Toy Story as a child sparked Rachel's love of movies. So it started that, right?
Right.
So like if you want to start a firework or like
Or
firecrackers.
or a fire.
A fire, you usually it starts with a spark.
A spark kind of creates a fire or creates some kind of explosion or something.
Yeah.
So if something sparks something else, it means it's set it off to go. Yeah. So continuing, despite the ban, Malala refused to stop learning. She started to write for the BBC, detailing her life as a schoolgirl under Taliban rule. Okay, that's pretty brave, right?
That is very brave.
So because she's writing for a,
International news
international
station.
news, right?
Yeah.
And she's basically saying, hey, I can't really go to school under Taliban rule.
Yeah.
Growing more outspoken. So if you're outspoken, that just means that you speak out what you think and what you feel.
Yeah.
You don't just keep it inside because you're afraid of consequences, right? So growing more outspoken, Malala demanded equal educational opportunities for all girls.
Okay, so she demanded. When you demand something, it's to ask for something very strongly because you really want or need it. Yeah. So for example, the customers demanded their money back after the food made them sick. Demand, I want it back now.
Yeah, the idea is like, you're really strongly asking for something. It's almost not like asking.
It's almost like
telling somebody that that's right.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, continuing. This angered and scared the Taliban. And on October 9th, 2012, a Taliban terrorist shot Malala in the head. Wow.
What?
That is crazy.
Oh my goodness. So one of these terrorists from the Taliban, I guess, just couldn't, maybe he just wanted to shut her up.
Yeah, because she was going against their rules, right?
Yeah, against their religious beliefs or whatever rules that they might have in that religion.
Yeah.
She was going against that. So you can imagine this person just wanted to shut her up.
Yeah. And it's
so,
also challenging their authority, right?
Right. So basically attempted to kill her.
Yeah.
If you shoot somebody in the head,
You're trying to kill them.
You're trying to murder them, right? So luckily, she survived this brutal attack, but she had to spend months recovering in the hospital.
Oh, that sounds awful.
My gosh, can you imagine?
That is crazy, but it makes sense now that she has a day in honor of her.
Right.
She was somebody who tried to help so many girls get an equal education and ended up in this situation.
Wow, that's horrible. Okay, well, that's all the time we have for part 1.
Yeah.
But we do have part 2, so make sure to join us next time.
Yeah, see you then.
在马拉拉11岁的时候，一切都改变了。塔利班禁止女孩上学。那塔利班是控制明哥拉的一个严格宗教组织。那这个禁止女孩上学的禁令，对年轻的马拉拉来说非常不公平。那这也激发她去争取受教权的渴望。Nina 老师刚刚有用到 forbid 来表达禁止。那么 forbid 是拼作 F-O-R-B-I-D， 它可以表达禁止或不准。那么动词三态会是 forbid、forbade、forbidden。好，那老师还有用到 aggravating 这个形容词 ，aggravating。aggravating 是形容恼人的，就跟 annoying 意思差不多。那课文接着写到说，尽管有这个禁令，马拉拉仍然拒绝停止学习。她开始为 BBC 英国广播公司来撰稿，详细描述了她在塔利班统治下作为女学生的生活。她变得更加直言不讳，要求所有女孩都要享有平等的教育机会。这个就激怒了，也吓坏了塔利班。在2012年的10月9日，一名塔利班的恐怖分子开枪射中马拉拉的头部。那幸运的是，他有幸存下来，可是他也得在医院花好几个月来康复。我们看单字 religious， 它是形容词，形容宗教的或是虔诚的。spark 当动词，它表示引发或是激起，像是引发、激起辩论啊、兴趣等等。这个字其实也可以当名词，它就有火花或者是导火线的意思。那么 Nina 老师在解释时，她提到 firecracker。Fire 后面加上 C-R-A-C-K-E-R， 那么这个字就表示爆竹或者是鞭炮。下一个单字 demand 当动词可以表达要求或是需要的意思。那这边3个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 take control， 表示控制、掌管。那么之后可以接 of 或是 over 再加名词来指出控制对象。举例来说 ，It's important to learn to take control of your finances。学习掌控自己的财务很重要。那第二个重点是 ban 的用法。首先第一个呢，它可以当及物动词用，尤其是指明令禁止某事。那么用法会是 ban 加上名词或动名词，或者是 ban somebody or something from 再加名词或动名词。后面呢，这个用法它常常会用被动语态哦。举例来说 ，The country has banned smoking in public places。那个国家已经禁止在公共场所吸烟。好，那第二个我们可以拿 ban 来当名词表达禁令，之后可以接 on 加上名词或动名词表达什么什么的禁令。例如 Do you support a ban on smoking in public places？ 你支持在公共场所禁烟吗？那第三个重点 despite 它表示尽管虽然，那它是介系词，后面可以接名词或动名词。例如 They went for a walk despite the rain。尽管下雨，他们还是去散步。那补充一下 despite 如果后面要接子句的话，我们必须先用名词同位语，像是 the fact 之类的，然后再接 that 子句，所以就会写作 despite the fact that 主词加动词。那像刚刚的例句也可以写作 They went for a walk despite the fact that it was raining。好，那么以上节讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Every year on July 12th, the world celebrates Malala Day in honor of Malala Yousafzai, a campaigner for female education who was attacked for wanting to go to school. Read on to find out more about this courageous young woman and her fight for the right to learn. Born in 1997 in Mingora, Pakistan, Malala was an intelligent child who grew up in a loving family with 2 brothers. Her father, a passionate educator who ran a chain of schools, encouraged her love of learning. However, when Malala was 11, everything changed. The Taliban, a strict religious group that had taken control of Mingora, banned girls from going to school. For young Malala, this was deeply unfair, and it sparked a desire to fight for her right to education. Despite the ban, Malala refused to stop learning. She started to write for the BBC, detailing her life as a schoolgirl under Taliban rule. Growing more outspoken, Malala demanded equal educational opportunities for all girls. This angered and scared the Taliban, and on October 9, 2012, a Taliban terrorist shot Malala in the head. Luckily, she survived this brutal attack, but she had to spend months recovering in the hospital.
Hey, it's KiWi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie.
Oh, Kiki, you are so cute. Did you know that you are just the bee's knees?
Bee's knees? My knees are normal. That's not very nice.
Okay, no, Kiki, this is a very common phrase, and it's actually a compliment.
Oh.
It's telling them how sweet you are, how nice you are. You're just the bee's knees.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It has nothing to do with your knees. Your knees are fine.
Okay, so in English, sometimes there are idioms and phrases that might not be what it seems, and it might actually mean something else. So today, we are going to work on some phrases.
Let's go.
All right, so we are going to work on some phrases today. The first one is 神魂颠倒.
I'll go for head over heels. Head over feet.
Head over heels. Head over feet.
I would choose head over heels.
Head over heels. Are you sure?
Not really, but I would choose that.
Okay, you don't want to change?
Yep. Believe in myself.
And it's a good thing you believe in yourself. You got it correct. Very, very good. Don't listen to me, right?
Okay.
Yeah, okay, ready? We have.
重新打起精神.
Okay, get back on one's fist or get back on one's feet.
Get back on one's feet.
Get back on one's feet. Get back on one's feet.
Get back on one's feet.
Get back on one's fist.
Get back on one's fist and sorry, you get back on your feet or get back on one's feet, okay? So what did we learn today? Let's learn about the phrases that we heard today. The first one is head over heels. This is used to describe someone who is totally or extremely enthusiastic about something. You are so passionate or devoted to a certain subject. However, this phrase comes from another phrase that dates back to the 1300s, which is heels over head, which means to be upside down. And it is used to describe when someone has been affected very strongly by something positive. Our next phrase is get back on one's feet. This phrase has been used since the 1800s, and it means to make a full recovery from an illness or to fully adjust to a new situation or any situation. If you think about being affected negatively by something, you might lose balance or be knocked off your feet. So when you're able to stand back up and be on your feet, that means you're able to do things again. So no matter how hard life gets, we can always get back on our feet and try again. That's it for our phrases today. KiWi later.